Welcome back to another episode of the Flagrant Foul Fridays. I'm one of your hosts, Nick, and with me, as usual, is Christian.
Hello, guys, and welcome back.
So today we have a few people in the Ball and Order segment. If you haven't seen, college football had an update on their playoff logo. We got some new NFL jerseys that we want to talk about, and we got a special segment today that is the golf game.
And
So
it's the
what?
start of the NBA playoffs.
Yeah, and we got to start the NBA playoffs coming on Saturday. The official start is Saturday. So today we're going to do a golf game, which is I'll explain a
Very
little bit.
loosely related to golf.
It's loosely related to golf. So you pick a topic. Christian went a little different and did different topics, but
Did you do the
generally,
same for all yours?
yeah, generally,
Oh,
generally it's the same topic to make it easier to set the par. So say I'll just give an example like I did for Christian to explain it. So say Christian says LeBron for his and his uh, golf game is for age. And say I said 43 and obviously he's 41, I'd get 2 points to the par. And generally, when I see these, the par is like 27 for age. So I'd be 2 out of 27. Or if I said 39, I'd still be 2 out of 27. So you want to be as close to par.
so do I have to set a par?
Yeah.
How do I decide that though?
It's usually easier with with one topic. Like my par is 27 because I just went, or no, it isn't 27. I'll have to look at
Do
it
we even
again.
need a par? I mean, we could just do total score, right? Lower score wins.
Well, my score is probably, or my game is probably a little easier than what yours is, considering
Maybe.
what you told me it could have been.
Yeah, but I have no clue how to even set my par. So let's just say lowest score wins. Tiebreaker, we can say closest to 27. All right, you want me to just do all of mine and then do all of yours, or how are we doing
Yeah,
this?
that's how
All
we'll do
right.
it.
How tall is James Wiseman?
James Wiseman, I feel, is 6'11.
That is true.
So par.
Next, how old is James Harden?
I think James Harden is 30, 35 or 36. What do I want to go with? I'm going to go 36.
That is also true. Hopefully, we don't have any overlap questions. How tall is Lamar Jackson?
I just did a Weddle yesterday, and Lamar Jackson was the answer. I believe he's 5'10",
No,
5'9".
not even close. He's 6'2", according to what I saw.
No way.
So that's four off.
How tall is Lamar? Because the Weddle I did, it said that he was like 5'10" or something. It said he was short.
Maybe it's a different Lamar.
A different Lamar that's a quarterback on the Ravens.
Well, maybe not. I think it's just wrong.
It was probably wrong.
All right, so now you're 4 points. Next question. How many kids does Shaq have?
I think Shaq has,
He has one stepson. So if you want to add that to the total, you can.
with the stepson, I'll say 5.
He has six and then seven with the stepson.
So 2.
So that's actually not bad. How many championship wins does Steve Kerr have as a coach and a player combined?
Well, he's got at least 4 as a coach. And he's got, I'm going to say, I think he won some with the Spurs.
I guess the real question is how many did he win with the Bulls?
I'm going to say he has 9 championships.
That is correct. He had five as a player and four as a coach. All right. How old is Greg Popovich?
Oh, jeez. I think he's like 82.
He is 77.
Oh, so
Not
5
bad.
off.
That's a pretty good guess.
I thought he was older than that.
How many total medals does Simone Biles have? Silver, bronze, and gold combined.
I don't even know how many medals she has because I don't even watch the Olympics like that.
I wouldn't know either.
I'm gonna say 10 medals.
That's really close. She has 11.
Oh, nice.
All right, next question. How old is Vince Carter?
Vince Carter's got to be like 43.
He is 49.
Oh, holy crap! He just retired not too long ago.
Yeah, but he retired pretty old, I think. He
Yeah, but
stayed
I
in the
didn't think
league
that
pretty
old.
long.
I thought he retired like 42.
Well, he
I guess that
retired in like
I guess
2017.
2020.
Did he? I thought it was like 2017-ish.
I guess that was like 6 years ago.
Vince Carter retired in 2020. So that would have mean he would have been 43 when he retired.
So I guess my calculation was just off. I didn't realize we were that far ahead in the future.
All right, and the final question. How tall is Caitlin Clark?
I feel like she's like 5'11".
She is 6 foot.
Oh, one.
You
I
finished with
almost
19. That's actually really good.
I almost went 5'10".
Does 19 seem like a good score if the par was 27?
Yeah, I mean a shot under par.
Is that about how low people tend to get in this game, though? I've never seen it.
Uh, yeah. I mean, it ranges. It depends on how well they know the people. But a lot of mine were just luck shots.
It was crazy how many you got perfect, though.
All right, so for mine are all going to be weight.
Oh, I'm screwed. You kidding me?
That's why I
You
said
thought mine was gonna be harder?
because I didn't know what all you had because you had different things.
Not only does weight like have such a wide range, I don't think I know a single player in any sports listed weight.
I was gonna give you a par of 10 per shot, so I was gonna give you like 90 par. But then you couldn't decide on a par.
Whatever. I think I lose even if it is 90 par. All right, let's see
All
what
right,
I do.
first player is LeBron.
LeBron. Hmm. I mean, he's pretty bulky. He's pretty tall. He's got to be over 200 pounds, I would say. I'm gonna go like 225.
25 off. He's 250.
Okay. Honestly, not terrible. Although I've already lost the game if we don't make the par 90.
Your next player is Messi.
Well, he's like 5'4", but he is somewhat muscular, so I'm gonna have to say he's a little heavier than he looks. He's probably about 155.
155. He's 148.
Ooh, okay.
So you're within 10 there. So you could make up the ground here. Now, your next player is Miles Garrett.
Oh gosh. I mean, he's not exactly obese or anything, but he is pretty big. Maybe we'll go like 270.
On the dot,
Sure.
he's 272.
Ooh, wow. Okay.
Your next player is Giannis.
I would say he's about the same size as LeBron, maybe actually a little skinnier, but he's taller. So if LeBron was 250, I would say Giannis has to be 264.
Oh, he's 243.
Really?
So what was that? You said 264, so
I think LeBron
21.
put on weight.
LeBron put on weight. It's the old age. All right. Now we're just about halfway. This is like the halfway point. Your next player is
I'm
Curry.
exactly half of 90.
Yeah, you're halfway through and you're half a 90.
All right, Curry's tough because he looks like an average human, but he's 6'3". He's muscular. Like I'm leaning towards like 180 range, but I could easily see him being about 200. Let's go. I could also see him being less than 180. Let's go 180 on the dot. Why not?
He's 185.
Okay.
So you're at 50 par right now.
I'm doing way better than I thought I would.
Your next player is Jackson Smith Najigba.
Okay, he's pretty small. Um, he probably weighs about the same as Curry. He might weigh a little more because he's probably a bit more muscular, but I think overall he's shorter. So let's go 173.
Ooh, he's 197.
Really? So I was probably right about the muscles. Hmm.
So 24. And then your next player is Patrick Mahomes.
Oh boy, this one's tough. He's about the same size as Curry, but probably heavier. I was shocked how heavy Jackson Smith and Jigba was, though, so I could see him being heavier than I think. Let's just go 218.
He's 225.
Okay.
You got two players left, and you're at 81 out of 90.
So I don't think it's possible for me to beat you now. I can tie, though. No,
You
actually, I
can
can win
you
if
could
I get
win
it.
if you get on the money. Shohei Otani.
Oh gosh, this one's really tough.
I was actually surprised when I saw it.
How light he was or how heavy he was?
How much he weighed.
But that doesn't tell you. I have a feeling he's heavier than you thought, but I feel like I picture him as pretty heavy because he's like 6'5", pretty muscular. Let's go like LeBron was 250. I feel like I saw somewhere that he weighed about the same as LeBron. Let's go like 249.
Ooh.
He's like
So
260, isn't he?
no, he's 210.
Oh, what? He's all lean, I guess. I don't know. You never see him with his shirt off. How am I supposed to know?
You see Patrick Mahomes and all these other athletes with
I
their
see
shirts off?
LeBron. They interviewed LeBron in a towel that one time, remember?
Oh yeah. We've also seen LeBron's you know what, but we're not going to say that on this
Oh,
podcast.
we have? Who is we?
Remember the finals when he was adjusting his shorts and everybody was saying, "Oh, we saw LeBron."
I no, I've never seen that. That's just you.
Oh, I guess I was the only one that watched the finals. Your last player is Kevin Durant.
162.
162.
Actually, he's bulked up a bit. 170.
Well, you finished 100 over par.
How much does he weigh?
He weighs 240.
What? There's no way. How much did he
Yeah.
bulk then? Wasn't he like less than 200 entering the league?
I have no idea. But according to basketball reference, he weighs 240.
He was 215 when he was drafted.
So he balked.
I guess I just underestimated how much height matters for weight with him. But still. Yeah, that was a completely fair game. How much was I? 100 over par?
Yeah. Exactly 100 over par.
I feel like 150 would have been a better par for me.
I was just thinking you would be within 10, but I guess they were kind of hard.
Yeah, within 10 is crazy. Honestly, it should have been like 20. Make par
And
200. I would have been minus 10. Honestly, that would have been pretty fair, I
then you
think.
would have won.
Well, yeah, but it was a close game, and so I feel like that was a better par. Let us know in the comments what a better par would have been. I think it would have been 200 over 90.
I guess we'll never know.
All right, let's move on to the ball and order segment. Cowboys safety Marquise Bell was arrested and charged with felony possession of a controlled substance and marijuana on Friday. The arresting officer smelled marijuana after Bell was pulled over on Friday night. A search of his vehicle uncovered less than 2 ounces of marijuana and a THC electronic cigarette before he was arrested and charged. He would be subject to penalty from the NFL under its personal conduct policy. The Cowboys are aware of the arrest and declined to comment. Now, does it matter that it was in the off season at all? Because didn't the NBA have less strict rules about players in the off season?
Um, I don't know. I think it still applies for regular season.
I would imagine the NFL is probably a bit more strict than the NBA with this, anyways.
Hmm. So we got another case involving some kind of, uh, I guess his wasn't
Yet
really
another
involving driving,
Ohio
but Ted
State
Ginn
alum.
Jr.'s did.
We've had a lot of Ohio State alumni on the Ball and Order lately.
Yeah. So our next ball and order candidate is Ted Ginn Jr. So he was charged with a DWI in Texas on Saturday, and he was booked on Saturday and released after posting a $1,000 bond. The police department told the news outlet in Columbus that Ted Ginn Jr. was stopped at 12:58 a.m. and given a field sobriety test where he tested, but they didn't say what he tested for. I could only assume marijuana since they didn't give a DUI.
Well, DWI is intoxicated.
Oh,
I think it's the same thing, isn't it?
I think they're similar, but I don't know if they're the exact same. So DUI and DWI generally refer to the same criminal offense of operating a vehicle while impaired by alcohol or drugs. The primary difference is terminology, which varies
It's
by
not,
state
yeah,
law.
it looks like they're pretty much interchangeable, but even though they do vary state to state, it sounds like DWI is almost always referring to alcohol over drugs. All right, and our last bit of crime news is kind of an update. Uh, Former Michigan football head coach Sharon Moore was placed on probation Tuesday for 18 months and just over a $1,000 fine for the confrontation with his executive assistant soon after he was fired for having an inappropriate relationship with her.
So, into college football, an NCAA panel is scheduled to discuss potential changes to eligibility rules that would incorporate age into the process. So, the proposal, which mirrors language written into the executive order issued by President Donald Trump last week, that it would give athletes 5 years of eligibility with the clock starting at the earliest of two dates, either when they turn 19 or graduate high school. There would be limited exceptions, but be, they would not involve injuries, which has been a common reason for players to ask for extra eligibility. It's still unknown whether the rule would shield the NCAA from lawsuits over eligibility. Dozens of players have sued for extra years, claiming injuries and other circumstances made them candidates for extra eligibility, and the NCAA is seeking a limited antitrust exemption from Congress to prevent these lawsuits.
You know, it is interesting that they're like getting rid of the medical side of it because I feel like if any excuse was going to be made for getting eligibility, I feel like being injured for the entire season or at least a large part of it would be a pretty good case for it. In other news, the CFP announced a new logo. It looks almost identical, although I did see when it was first announced that it's not going to have the words college football playoffs right now, it's just going to be abbreviated to CFP underneath it. And I actually like the old logo better with the words written out. Now the new logo's actual like symbol, I don't know if I like it better. It's a bit more metallic, so it looks more like actual gold on the football. But honestly, either way, I think I like the old logo overall better, and it's really not a big enough of a change that even if it was better, that it would have really done much for it.
Kind of like the new logo better. It adds a little more contrast in the picture with like a shiny gold instead of like a matte gold. I
Do you even
guess
like it with the wording though? Or
I
did you
like
not
it
see
with
that?
the wording, but I like the old wording better. Like I like that it says college football playoff instead of just CFP.
All right, now we're going to move on to the NFL segment. So, the Washington Commanders announced new uniforms for this season. So I think it's home, away, and alternative. I don't fully remember what their jerseys looked like last year, but right off the top of my head, the red and white variants, which I assume is home and away, look very reminiscent of the old Redskin jerseys. So I really like that actually. I don't love the home and away helmet. Like the stripe is a little odd to me. But the alternative with the like spear through the W actually looks sick. And honestly, maybe they should consider changing their actual logo to that because just the W is a little plain, which we talked about last week on our NFL logo tier list.
I think I would have moved it up on my tier list personally if they had that in their
Oh,
actual
sure.
logo.
It would have been at least B tier.
It's the thing that we put them at C tier because it's just the letter.
Yeah. Overall, though, I really like these. especially the away.
Yeah, I like the. I mean, I'm a sucker for black jerseys. I like their black jerseys, and I really like that black helmet with that new logo on it.
Yeah, I mean the black jerseys are always gonna look good. Again, though, I'm not in love with the helmet stripe. Something about it's just a little odd.
And really, I don't even know if they changed their jerseys that much from last year on the home and away. It doesn't even look that much different.
See, I don't remember what they looked like last year, but looking at it online, they look like they are a lot more modern, plain looking. Actually, it is pretty significantly different. I quite like these new ones better. They have more of the I don't know what the official name of it is, but like where there's the holes in the jersey for like breathability. It looks a lot more old school.
Oh, I guess they are different.
Quite a bit different.
Yeah, I guess they
I like
are a little more
I
like the
like these
Redskins,
way
like you
better.
said. I like the numbers on the white jerseys, the old white jerseys. But yeah, I like that they're going back to like the Redskins little, and they even added the spear.
Which is weird because isn't their new like name based on like kind of modern military? Or am I getting the wrong impression?
I thought so.
Maybe it's just like a way to do a throwback without saying it.
Hmm. So there has been some news on an NFL reporter. I don't know if many people have seen it, but I've seen it over about a week now. It's been going on. So, NFL reporter Diana Rossini has resigned from The Athletic after an internal investigation started after being seen at an Arizona resort with Mike Vrabel. So, in the pictures, they're like holding hands, but she said that the video or the picture was cropped. It cropped out the other people that they were with and kind of blew up because they were holding hands and both of them were married. So there was, like I said, there was a photo taken of them, but she said it didn't show the whole group. And the investigation was to look into any potential conflicts of interest regarding her professional relationship with Mike Vrabel.
So she just resigned before the investigation said she had to get fired or anything?
Yeah, so she resigned about 1 or 2 days into the investigation, so not very long.
It's so odd to me, like if she says she's innocent. And even if she wasn't innocent, is it really a big deal? I'm kind of confused.
Yeah, I don't know if it's big in the media world on having unprofessional relationships with people.
But I'd have to imagine it's not like disallowed. Are either of them married?
Yeah, both of them are married.
Oh, well, that might have a rule against it. I don't know. In other news, the Justice Department has begun an investigation into whether the NFL has violated anti-competitive practices with its television contracts that require consumers to pay subscription costs to watch some games. This is about affordability and creating an even playing field for providers, a government official told ABC News. The NFL has an antitrust exemption for the negotiation of its television contracts through the Sports Broadcast Act of 1961, which only applies to broadcast television. Courts have ruled in the past that it does not apply to other media, including cable, satellite, and streaming. The NFL currently has television contracts with ESPN, ABC, NBC Sports, CBS Sports, Prime Video, and Netflix to air its games. Subscriptions are required to watch Monday Night Football games on ESPN that aren't simulcast on ABC. Thursday Night Football and Black Friday games are on Prime Video, and the Christmas games are on Netflix. Some international games also air on NFL Network, which is shown by ESPN. Select postseason games also require subscriptions. The NFL has also awarded select games to ESPN Plus and Peacock in the past. All games, however, air free on the local stations in the broadcast markets of the teams playing.
I think what this is basically getting at is they want to make these games more accessible to fans.
I'm not quite sure how, like, legal action they can take, because I believe the company is able to set how the stuff is sold and how much it costs, as much as it might suck. I know that it mentioned that Sports Broadcast Act, but I'm not quite sure that that applies. So, I don't know.
It'd be nice to see them back to traditional style, but I don't think that'll ever happen because they're making a lot of money off of these separate um,
Yeah,
streaming sites.
I would like to see it be easier and stuff. Yeah, and honestly, I feel like the NFL would love to just have a single NFL app or something, but all these other companies, I'm sure, come to them offering them a lot of money that they can't pass up.
I think they got a pretty good deal with Amazon um,
I'm sure.
for Thursday Night Prime and stuff like that, and Netflix for Christmas Day.
Amazon is really expanding out into other adventures lately. Like, they started up a gaming studio. They are creating some major video games. I think there's a James Bond video game coming out with like a budget of like hundreds of millions, if not $1 billion or something crazy. So, yeah, doesn't surprise me.
And they actually streamed the Hornets game last night, and the broadcast cut out for 2 minutes, and a lot of people were upset about that.
And in trade news, the Colts are actively seeking a trade for Kenny Moore II after a mutual agreement.
And the Packers are trading wide receiver Dontavion Wicks to the Philadelphia Eagles in exchange for a 2026 fifth round pick and a 2027 sixth round pick. Wicks will sign a 1 year, $12.5 million extension with the Eagles.
All right, now we're going to move on to the NBA segment. The NBA said that 170 million people watched regular season games across the four primary broadcast platforms, which is up 86% from the 24-25 season and a league best in 24 years. NBC and Peacock is up 35%, following the trend on NBC broadcasts. This obviously follows a trend that we've been talking about all year, but I have to wonder, what is driving this specifically in the NBA? Is it how competitive the East is this year in terms of the overall records being pretty close? Is it the MVP race between four or so different players? I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I wonder if it has. I mean, it doesn't have a lot to do with Peacock because it's only 35%, but it seems for every single sport we brought up, it was streamed on NBC or Peacock. That's where the growth was. So I think some of it has to do with NBC because I'm sure NBC actually streams it on regular television and not just Peacock. So there's actually some more statistics. So people watch the NBA games more than 920 million hours, which is up 25%, and it's the most since 2011, 2012. And then there was a total of 57 telecasts that reached an average of 2 million viewers, which was the most since the same season. And then the NBA socials had a record number of 228 billion views, which is up 13% from last season. And the attendance over the last three seasons in the NBA arenas is higher than any other three-season span in league history. So it's not just the broadcast.
Yeah. Now we're going to talk about some historic feats and just things worth pointing out that we got this season. Obviously, the regular season is finished, so we got a lot of awards and stuff to talk about soon. But first of all, let's talk about some history that was made. Nikola Jokic became the first player in NBA history to lead the league in both rebounds per game and assists per game. I feel like this alone, combined with how much he's scoring and the fact that he's averaging a triple-double, gives him a really good case for MVP. Although, I am pretty confident that Shea is going to win it.
Yeah, I mean he sat most of those games, so I think it's probably going to go to him because he sat like the fourth quarter for most of those games, I believe. At least at the beginning of the season, he did.
Jokic?
No,
Oh, Shea.
Shea. He scored like 30 points and then he sat the bench for the fourth quarter for most of those first 25 games or so.
Well, yeah, but I still feel like Jokic is the better argument.
Yeah, because in a way, Shea's team was a dominant team.
I saw a stat comparing their winning percentage with and without them, and it's actually fairly close. I believe Shea's was slightly better, but Shea only missed a couple games, and Jokic missed quite a bit more, I believe. So it's not exactly accurate per se, but I think regardless, I just feel like Jokic has the better stats and stuff anyways. So I feel
Hmm.
like even if we're gonna say Jokic impacts his team more or less than Shea, we can probably honestly throw that to the side. Stats wise, I believe Jokic leads Shea in like almost every category except maybe points, total points, and even that is only like 2 or 3 points off.
Yeah. So we have some more history. So this is the first season in NBA history with 8 teams with 55 plus losses. Those being the Pelicans at 26 and 56, as well as Dallas with the same record. The Grizzlies with a record of 25 and 57. The Kings and the Jazz with a record of 22 and 60. The Kings with a record, or sorry, the Nets with a record of 20 and 62, and then the Pacers with a record of 19 and 63, and the Wizards at the bottom of the league at 17 and 65.
In other news, Con Canoople scored 273 pointers this season. And Ray Allen, who is widely considered one of the best three-point shooters of all time, his highest ever season had 269 points, or 269 threes made. So Concanoople has already broke his record as a rookie uh, by 1 point, or 1 3. And Ray Allen played 18 seasons. So that's pretty impressive. Obviously, the game's changing a bit. There's a bit more threes being shot. However, I would like to point out that Steph Curry in 2015, which was his MVP season, right?
Yeah, he shot like 406, I
He
think.
had 402. That really puts into perspective how much of a difference there is between Ray Allen and Steph, I feel like. Speaking of Concanoople, LaMelo Ball was trying to potentially, although he never stated this, beat Khan's record this season. But he ended up 1 3-pointer short with 272. However, LaMelo and Concanoople are now the first duo with 270 plus threes in a season since Steph and Clay. Perhaps a sign of things to come.
Yeah, I mean that it's pretty crazy that he led his team as a rookie in three pointers made.
Yeah. And I like LaMelo, but after what I saw yesterday, I'm not so sure anymore.
Hmm. Which we'll
Because
talk about
he
later.
pretty clearly intentionally tripped Bam Adebayo, who left the game. I don't know if he came back though.
I think he was out the rest of the game.
And I did see a picture of him doing it, like maybe a year or two ago, to a different person. So,
He just did it earlier this season to Bam. So I wonder if he has beef with Bam Adebayo.
well, the clip I saw or the picture was against a completely different player a couple of years ago. So maybe it's just kind of something he naturally does, is he grabs legs when he's on the ground.
So he's more of like a dirty player, it sounds like.
Maybe. I never really noticed that though in the past.
Hmm.
Like someone I did notice it with was Dylan Brooks.
Yeah.
So I gotta get my daily Dylan Brooks hate in there somewhere.
In other news, Kawhi Leonard became the first player to average a career high in year 14 or later. So his career high is now 27.9 points per game in a season. So that's actually pretty crazy that he is doing that in year 14, which I believe he's in his late 30s.
We really had a good bounce back this year after um some of the injured Clippers players started playing again.
Oh, he's mid 30s. He's 34. But I think he also averaged his career. He also got his career high this year, I believe, too, on the
Yeah,
Clippers.
I think so.
Or no, he got the franchise record. I don't know if that was his career high.
And another historic event that happened was between the Utah Jazz and the Memphis Grizzlies. For the first time in NBA history, three players recorded triple doubles in the same game. John Conker, is that how you say his name? I don't know, I've never heard of him. Bez Mbang and Jemai Mashak all had triple doubles in that game, although they were on different teams, I assume.
Hmm. And then I believe we talked about him, his streak before in the past. But Mikal Bridges played 23 seconds in the final game of the season to keep his 638 consecutive game streak alive. To put it into perspective, first place is AC Green at 1,192 games. But
Yeah.
I saw a stat, and he has not missed a game since at least high school. In college, he played 40 games in 2015 and 2017. In 2015, he led the NCAA in games played, and then he played 36 games in 2016. And then in six of his 8 seasons in the NBA, he has led the league in games played. And he actually tied on 5 different occasions.
Yeah. And I don't think he was hurt or anything. I assume they just didn't want to play him in the last game of the season.
Yeah, I think they just wanted to conserve him for the playoffs.
So I wouldn't even consider this like a kind of false record because they easily could have started him. They just didn't want to tactically, which is totally valid, I feel like.
And something to note, he actually played 83 games in 2022-23 because he got traded and ended up playing an extra game.
And something that I was kind of surprised to hear is that Ryan Nimhard, brother, of course, to Andrew Nimhard, had an insane game with 23 assists. Now, a month ago, he was in the G League, and now he plays for the Dallas Mavs. And he actually broke Jason Kidd's record for franchise rookie assists in a game. He finished with 15 points, 23 assists, and 9 rebounds, so almost a triple-double. And they actually beat the Bulls that game. He was 2 assists shy of tying the all-time NBA rookie record with 25. So that's very impressive. Could he end up being better than his brother? Maybe, maybe not. I know his brother, I think, is having a little bit of a down year, but it's hard to say if that's tanking or not. But actually, is his brother even on the Pacers? I thought he got traded.
Yeah, he's still on the Pacers.
Okay. Uh, Regardless, this is a pretty good sign of things to come for the Mavericks potentially. Maybe Cooper Flag is actually going to get a good team built around him, and they're going to start winning some games soon.
Jeremiah Fears is 19 years old, and he's the youngest guard ever to drop 40 points in a game. I saw his brother is actually entering the draft this year. I think he plays
I
for Duke or
Is
something.
he a rookie this year? I've never heard of him.
Yeah, he's a rookie. He has
Uh,
zero
he
fears.
he plays for the Pelicans, so potentially this could be the kind of big name Pelicans player in the next couple years. Who knows? In other news, the NBA scoring champion this season ended up being Luka Doncic. He had 33.5 points per game. This is also his third season averaging 32 or more points. That's pretty impressive.
He's also the first Laker to win a scoring title since Kobe in 2006.
But that's not as surprising. The Lakers have been kind of bad since Kobe left. He actually, even when Kobe was on it towards the end of his career.
So I wanted to talk a little bit about the 65 game rule. So I saw a post and for one of the MVPs in league history, or out of all the MVPs in league history, only one has one MVP with less than 65 games played. And that was Bill Walton, who played 58 games in an 82 game regular season. There have been 19 MVP winners who have played in all 82 games in their MVP season, and there have been 35 winners who have played in at least 80 games. So, some winners since 2008 in comparison. So, Shea had 76 last year, Jokic had 79, Embiid had 66, Jokic had 74, and 72 in his back to back years. Then Giannis had 63, but that year was cut short because of COVID. So that one doesn't really count. There's like an asterisk there. And then Giannis and Harden had 72. Westbrook had 81. Steph had 79 and 80 in his back to back years. KD had 81. LeBron had 76 and 62, but that has another asterisk because of the lockout year. Derrick Rose played in 81. LeBron played in 76 and 81 in his back to back years. And Kobe was the most recent to play 82 games in a season for MVP.
Yeah, so maybe this rule is a little bit more lenient than most people would realize. However, this is specifically MVPs, so should it apply to every award? Probably not. I also think the NBA is headed towards a bit more emphasis on health of players. Now, some people would call this load management, but and maybe to some extent they're overdoing it. But I would also argue, and mind you, I don't have evidence to back this up, but I'm pretty confident with the advancements in technology and stuff that we might know more about player health than ever before that says load managing, whatever you want to call it, if we want to just say it's keeping players healthy, might actually be a bit more required than people think. Perhaps in the past, we were just pushing players harder than they probably should have. I mean, Kobe ended up hurting himself even worse after returning from an ACL tear too early, didn't he?
Yeah,
And some people are going to say he had a lot of grit and braveness to do that. You know, maybe that's true to some extent. But I feel like if we can prevent player injuries and we have data to back it up, then maybe the NBA has to shift away from people playing this many games. It might be something worth looking into.
yeah,
Also, just for a little bit of reference, here's a couple players that played this season, and we're going to compare their total games played and total minutes played. So Luca was ineligible by one game. He played 64 games. However, he played 2,289 minutes. Victor Wembanyama played 65 games, so he was just barely eligible, but he had 1,868 minutes. So like 400 minutes less, and he was eligible. Bruce Brown played 82 games and played only 1,996 minutes, which is still more than Wimby. So that's kind of crazy. Wimby
yeah,
did talk about this in an interview where he was doing the math, and he was like, how can some people, especially bench players that could potentially win Six Man of the Year, play like a ton of minutes or not a lot of minutes and play 82 games? Or vice versa, play a lot of minutes, and play 64 games and not be eligible. I don't know if there's an argument there to be made that instead of games, it should be a total number of minutes. Obviously, that would affect bench players more. Either way, it seems that there is an issue on multiple fronts. I would not be surprised if the NBA changes this next year. I do hope that they don't just simply bump it up and say, okay, you have to play 60 games or something, because that also seems a little unfair. But I I don't know. I feel like maybe there should be some balance. I guess the question becomes, what are they trying to do? It seems to me they're trying to prevent load management. So then the next question becomes, like I said earlier, is load management actually a bad thing? Have they looked into the health of players and if it actually benefits them? I'm not sure. Obviously, it costs them money. Seems like a lot of rules that they're making lately are based on money, whether they say it or not. But either way, everyone's talking about this, and I almost guarantee there's going to be some sort of change next year.
Yeah, um, I wanted to point out because you said Bruce Brown wasn't eligible through 82 games. So the rule is you got to play 20 minutes for 65 games. So
All
that's
right, I
why
forgot
Bruce
about that.
Brown wasn't eligible.
Yeah, and Wimby pointed that out that 20 minutes times 82 is a lot different than 20 minutes times 65, you know. So it is a little odd.
Which I just did the math. It's 1,600 minutes. So he played more than 20 minutes for quite a few games.
I also wonder how much this year is going to affect records in the future. For example, there's some players like Luca that were ineligible for awards that, let's say we're comparing his stats to other players in the future. He's going to have potentially one less record or something, which makes the comparison a little bit harder because, for example, you could say, well, this player has this many Offensive Player of the Year awards, and this player has this many, you know, but Luca would be one less on some of those,
Like
you
all
know,
NBA
all
teams.
NBA teams, that sort of stuff. So it's definitely worth noting. I'm really would not be surprised that if in the future people just forget this happened or maybe don't know that it happened. So this will actually be kind of an interesting discussion in the future between maybe some younger fans and older fans. I mean, is 1 year of awards that big of a difference? Maybe. A lot of people seem to hold awards very seriously, you know, when they're
Hmm.
comparing players. So it could be. But I think did COVID have awards?
Yeah, COVID had awards. Giannis won MVP. I think
Okay, so this is
Rudy
really the
Gobert
only
won
like,
Defensive Player of the Year or something.
so this is like the only gap year, if we want to call it that, in NBA history.
Hmm.
Although
Because the lockout also had awards.
I don't know if the merger affected anything between the ABA. In other news, Cooper Flagg and Michael Jordan are the only rookies to lead a team in points, rebounds, assists, and steals. I feel like Cooper surely wins Rookie of the Year, right? No hate to Khan, but Cooper has kind of been balling, even if his team's not winning.
Well, on the contrary, Concanoople has helped to lead the Hornets to the largest season-to-season turnaround in NBA history.
I saw this and I think it's a lot less impressive than people make it out to be. Here's why. Last year, LaMelo was hurt, right? So what did the Hornets do? They tanked. And this year, they want to make a playoff run. So while I won't deny that Concanoople is helping the team win, this is essentially a team playing very bad, potentially on purpose, to all of a sudden playing very well with their star player back. So I would not put that record over Cooper Flagg's impact. I mean, the dude's scoring 40 points, 50 points, and his team is still losing. I don't feel like you can argue that Cooper is the reason the team lost. And so I don't think the records should be that much of a conversation when comparing the two.
A notable player is Tom Chambers on this list at fourth. So you don't really think of him as the kind of player to help a team win or
Yeah.
actually increase their point differential.
Yeah. But for reference, just so you guys know, 2024 Hornets had a negative 747 plus or minus. This season they have a plus 399, so that's a total increase of 1,146, which is, I believe, 25 points more than the old record held by Kevin Garnett Celtics in 2006 to 2007. So it's still really cool. That's a kind of cool stat, but it's kind of a weird stat. Also, I want to point out this. The Celtics in 2006 were minus 280, and then 2007 they were plus 841. Whereas the 2024 Hornets were negative 747. So that's like negative 500 point difference on the bad year. versus the good year, that tells me that they probably were tanking. And really that the Hornets are maybe not as elite as a team as like that 2007 Celtics team, which maybe isn't a fair comparison, but my point still stands that this difference was made mostly because of how bad they were last year rather than how good they are this year. But they are a decent team. So we have one injury, although obviously Bam is hurt, but their team's out of the playoffs now, so it doesn't really matter. Joel Embiid has been diagnosed with appendicitis, uncertain on a return time, but he is likely going to miss at least a couple playoff games from what I saw.
So not looking good for the 76ers. But I did see, I do like that they're doing this. They're doing like a throwback thing where they're wearing the old 76ers uniforms on the old 76ers court, the old black uniforms, like when Allen Iverson was there. Because I actually like those uniforms.
Yeah, they're good. So here's the league leaders this season. The points leader was Luka with 2,143 points. Field goals made was Jalen Brown with 736. Three-pointers made, Colin Knuple, 273. Free throws made, guess who? Shea Gilgeous-Alexander with 540. Rebounds was Donovan Clingan with 892. I've never actually heard of him.
He's on the Blazers.
I thought Wimby would have had it.
Well, Wemby barely got the 65 game mark,
Oh, that's
so
true. That's fair. He was injured a bit and getting limited minutes. Jokic was the assist leader with 697, and Wimby was the blocks leader with 197 blocks. Speaking of blocks, though, Wimby has led the league in blocks all three of his seasons that he's played. For reference, the all-time record for most block titles is 4, held by Kareem and Mark Eaton, as well as Marcus Camby. So if he gets one more, he's going to tie them. And I don't know if any of those ever had 3 in a row, let alone
yeah, I
starting
have
as a
no
rookie
idea.
moving forward. So that's crazy. And then our steals leader was Cason Wallace with 150 steals. I haven't heard of him either.
He's on the Thunder. I'm actually surprised that Wilt isn't on that block list. 'Cause I think Wilt holds the record for the
Oh wait,
most blocks.
I know Cason Wallace. I've seen him play. I just didn't know his name, I guess. The Thunder have a lot of good role players though, so what do you expect?
Yeah, uh, Kareem average or Wilt Chamberlain averaged an unofficial 8.8 blocks per game. So I'm surprised that he doesn't have that record tied, unless they didn't have that award back then, or like track it.
Maybe.
I think they didn't track blocks back then. I think that's why
Yeah,
they
that's
didn't
probably why.
they didn't track him as an official stat. Anyways, moving on, the Miami Heat are waiving Terry Rozier. Rozier has been placed on leave by the NBA since October after the federal indictments into the sports gambling activity.
The Lakers are waiving guard Kobe Buffkin.
The Raptors are converting two-way guard AJ Lawson to a standard NBA contract for the remainder of the season and the playoffs. So I think they play tonight.
The Lakers are also signing two-way guard Nick Smith Jr. on a new 2-year contract. With Luka and Austin Reeves sidelined, the Lakers add guard depth for the playoffs. Smith has averaged 6 points and 40% from 3 this season. So he's got to lock in for the playoffs.
And the Raptors don't play tonight; they play Saturday. um, in other news, Doc Rivers is departing as head coach of the Milwaukee Bucks, and the Bucks will pursue their third coach in the last 3 seasons.
Yeah, I mean, not too surprising. And lastly, it just came in today that Jonathan Isaac is demanding a trade from the Magic after what I saw was altercations, I guess, with the coach. Not entirely sure what it was about, but I've said for a long time that I think Jonathan Isaac could be. I think he's kind of slept on. When he plays well and does his role well, he provides a lot to a team. Obviously, he's not going to go out there and give you like 20 points, but he'll get you the rebounds and the defense you need if you need him. So he could be a good backup for someone like the Warriors or Sun to pick up. All right, let's talk about the playoffs. So they start this Saturday, although the play-ins have already been going on. The Hornets beat the 9 seed Hornets already beat the 10th seed Heat, and that's it so far, right?
The Blazers beat the Suns last night.
Oh, right. It was a pretty dominant win too, wasn't it?
Hmm.
The one guy that I always forget his name had like 40 points.
Denny Avia,
Yeah, I believe so. And then the Warriors are going to play the Clippers in the play-in tournament, and the Magic are going to play the 76ers in the play-in tournament.
which is tonight.
Yeah. So the first seed is the Thunder, fourth seed Lakers, fifth seed Rockets, third seed Nuggets, sixth seed Wolves, second seed Spurs, and then the East, first seed Pistons, fourth seed Cavs, fifth seed Hawks, third seed Knicks, sixth seed Toronto Raptors. I don't know why I said Toronto. And then the second seed in the East is the Celtics. I could see the Celtics going on a run, potentially, depending on how well Jason Tatum plays.
I think I've seen a lot of people say that the Celtics are the favorite to win the East this year.
Yeah, I don't feel like the Pistons are playoff ready, but who knows? But I could see them being the favorite next year or so. However, I really don't think we can count out the Knicks. The Knicks looked really good in the playoffs last year, and they have a couple players on their team that can drop 40 on you. So anything's possible.
And then it was released today that the NBA will review the LaMelo Ball tripping that Christian talked about earlier. Um, that resulted in the Bam injury. He was out for the rest of the game, and it's expected to come out by Friday on their playing game.
Yeah. So that could be a big loss for them if he gets suspended or something. And for just so you guys know, the finals will start on June 3rd. So we actually got a bit. Is the playoffs always this long? This feels like quite a bit of time.
Yeah, it usually stretches out to the beginning of June.
Okay. Now we're going to move on to the miscellaneous segment. One thing I forgot to add because I could not find it once I saw it was I saw there was some sort of, I think it was high school softball game that ended up being a score of like 45 to 43 or something.
I think
Both
it was like
teams had like,
54,
yeah, both teams had like 14 walks each and like 10 hits or something. I don't know.
and it was
Well,
not
I
too
guess it
far from us.
had to be more than 10 hits. But anyways, I was like, that's crazy. It looks like a football score on the scoreboard. But unfortunately, I lost track of that, so I don't know their names. I can't give them the proper credit. Is it even good to say credit here? I don't know. Discredit, maybe. But I just thought that was funny. But speaking of innings, in a way, the minor league baseball team, New
Hampshire
Hampshire River
River
Cats,
Cats.
scored 10 runs in one inning. However, they did so with only one hit. So the sequence of the second inning went this way: walk, walk, wild pitch, strikeout, sacrifice, fly, run scores, walk, 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 run scores, hit by pitch, run scores, wild pitch, run scores, walk, hit by pitch, run scores, wild pitch, run scores, walk, walk, run scores, wild pitch, run scores, single, 2 run score, strikeout. Fun fact, me and Nick both played for the River Cats in elementary baseball.
Yeah, we were like
Although
professionals.
I don't remember them being from New Hampshire.
Yeah, I thought they were from where we are.
I just Googled it and it says Sacramento. So now I'm really confused. Is this not the same River Cats team? Unless it was like a special jersey about like their history.
Sacramento River Cat. Oh yeah, I remember that logo. I think that's what the logo that was on the jersey too, and is like that color.
Maybe they moved.
The River Cats are minor league baseball team in the Pacific Coast League and the AAA affiliate of the San Francisco Giants. So they're in the AAA. I wonder New Hampshire River
I'm
Cats
looking it up right now.
division. So they're in Double A.
Yeah,
They're
these
the
are different
Fisher
teams, aren't
Cats.
they? Oh, they're the Fisher Cats. We just couldn't see because his jersey was
His jersey was sideways, and we just
sideways.
assumed it was the River Cats.
It looks like such a similar logo. It's the same colors too.
Yeah.
Okay, my bad. It is the New Hampshire Fisher
It
Cats.
even says it right there. Oh my gosh.
However, We played on the River Cats. So,
Yeah,
yeah,
we played with
anyways.
the River Cats. We were on the AAA team, not the AA team.
But I tried to find photos, and I couldn't find any. We can't confirm if we played at the same time or not on the same team. That'd be kind of cool, though. Well,
Yeah,
we both
we're
sucked, though, because neither of us continued to play baseball.
yeah.
Or
We
we just didn't like it.
the furthest we made it was to the AAA.
Yep.
Speaking of baseball, though, Jose Ramirez set the franchise record for the most career games played at 1,620. Ramirez surpassed a 108-year-old record set by Terry Turner for the most games played in franchise history. In addition to becoming the all-time games played leader, Ramirez also is now the only active player to lead a team in games played.
And this franchise is the Cleveland Guardians.
Yeah, not the Indians.
The Reds player, you may know him, Ellie De La Cruz, is the first MLB shortstop since 1900 with at least 5 home runs and 5 stolen bases through his team's first 16 games of the season.
The Reds are actually playing right now. They're winning 7-2 against the Giants.
They've had a really good season so far.
I'd say kind of mediocre. I think they're 9-7 right now.
Oh, did they drop off? Last week they were doing good. What
Yeah,
happened?
they lost like 4 games in a row.
Jeez. I'll take a quick look at the standings. The Twins are doing really well. It's interesting. The Athletics are tied, although that division is all mid, it looks like.
That division is mid.
Can't believe the Athletics are in the lead though, in their division. Reds are tied in their division still with the Pirates. Seems to me that the only clear dominant team right now is the Dodgers. I think they're the only team currently with a win percentage over .7, and even then it's like .765. So, are we about to get another Shohei masterclass of a finals again?
I hope not. I'm tired of watching them win.
Okay, I mean, you can say that, but last year was one of the greatest championships in MLB history
Yeah,
in
I
terms of a
like.
viewership standpoint. I mean, we had crazy overtime games, we had pitchers pitching complete games and then pitching the next game and all sorts of crazy shenanigans. So, I liked it. We'll see if we get that. I could see a world where the Dodgers win in 4 games or something. And then that could be boring.
And moving on to some March Madness news. For this year's tournament, 9 men's teams in the Big Ten and 12 women's teams for the Big Ten combined to make at least $69.4 million, with $63 million coming from the men's side. The Northeastern Conference, also known as I say Northeastern, the Southeastern Conference, also known as the SEC, which had 10 teams in each tournament, totaled at least 56.2 million and 50.4 million for the men, 5.8 for the women. Other distributions would total at least 42.9 million for the Big 12, 34.2 for the Atlantic Coast Conference, also known as the ACC, and 22.2 million for the Big East.
And the championships in men's and women's basketball continued what has been a massive year for the Big Ten. Indiana won the conference's third straight college football playoff. The other national champions have been won in men's wrestling, Penn State, women's ice hockey, Wisconsin, men's water polo, UCLA, men's soccer, Washington, and field hockey, Northwestern, which we kind of mentioned last week. Is NIL the reason for the Big Ten's success lately? And does that imply that the other teams were cheating? Or other conferences? Maybe, maybe not.
Maybe, maybe not.
But it is kind of interesting timing. In other news, the Denver Pioneers are the men's Frozen Four national champions. It's their third national title in 5 years. And this, of course, is in the college hockey.
And their sixth straight win in national championship games.
I thought you said they were the underdog. How are they the underdog with 3 titles in the last 5 years?
They had a worse record, I believe. But it was a close game. It was like I think 2-1.
Who did they play?
Wisconsin. They beat Michigan to go to the championship. And then in other news, we have our first $1 million WNBA player, Jackie Young. I've heard of her, but I don't know much about her. But she signed a $1.19 million regular max deal with the Las Vegas Aces, and it was a 1 year deal.
A 1-year deal is kind of weird. It almost leads me to believe they didn't want to pay her a lot, but they would still wanted her, so they just did it for a year. I don't know. That's so odd to me.
I did see Kelsey Plum signed a $999,999 contract because she didn't want to pay millionaire taxes.
Does it work that way?
I believe so. I don't know. And then they gave her $1 in cash to give her that millionth dollar.
But maybe Jackie requested the 1-year deal. I don't know. It just seems odd to me. If she's worth this much, why is she only getting a year deal? In other news, it has been going around lately that J. Cole was waived from the Chinese basketball team he was playing for because of how bad he played in his first game. However, this is false news from all accounts I have found. What actually happened, according to multiple major news outlets, is that he signed a 3-game deal with them, but he had to wait in Hong Kong for his work visa to be processed. As a result, he only got there in time to play the final game. So his contract was going to end no matter what. It just so happened that he played less games than he was supposed to. It sucks the way it happened. He had 8 minutes and was 0 for 5 from 3. Uh, but yeah, contrary to popular belief that's going around, the team did not release or waive him. His contract just ended. So, a little unfortunate that he couldn't do a bit more, but it was kind of a cool story nonetheless.
And then into some NHL news, is they're about ready to enter the NHL playoffs, just like the NBA. Uh, with one game left, the Utah Mammoths are, like I said, just one game away from becoming the first team to finish an 82 game season without a game decided by a shootout, which is crazy because almost every team has had like at least three shootouts, I think. So that next game is tomorrow, so we won't be able to update until next week if they do break the record because
And
the
how are
current
they doing?
record, I believe they're in the playoffs. Let me look
Because
real
I was gonna
quick.
say this isn't necessarily a good or bad record because you could win a ton of games with no shootouts, or you could lose all your games like 3-0, so there's no shootouts.
Yeah, the Utah Mammoths are they have looks like the seventh best record in the West. The
Honestly, that kind
eighth,
of makes sense.
they have the sixth best record.
I feel like you gotta be able to win by a lot against bad teams and then lose by a lot to good teams. But still, the fact that they're not getting close, I mean, maybe they've won a couple games by one or something, or lost by one to like the middle teams is still like I don't know if it's impressive or not, but it's still crazy that it's happening.
And then the highest team, or I guess the only other team to do it, was the Edmonton Oilers, but that was in a shortened season because of COVID. They played
Yeah.
56 games.
Yeah.
So, in other news, the overall save percentage for NHL goalies is under 90% for the first time in 3 decades and is on pace to be the lowest since 1994. So,
Have there
seems
been
like
any rule or equipment changes that could affect this?
I have no idea, but I did see a lot of games where either the Penguins were getting blown out by like 8 goals a couple times, or the Penguins were blowing people out by 8 goals. So I think
Hmm.
I don't know what's going on, but there's definitely been a lot more blowouts or higher scoring games, I would say.
Yeah, I don't. I mean, maybe it's a little bit irrelevant. Like maybe it's barely under 90%, and it's not really that much of an outlier. But it might be worth looking into if there was some sort of rule change or way that they award fouls and stuff that's forcing them to maybe play a little bit more passive. I don't know. So the last thing today is that this season is the second season ever in NHL history where the Standing Cup champion from last year and the President's Trophy winner both missed the playoffs the next year. So in 2013, it was the Kings that won the Stanley Cup and the Penguins,
The
no,
Bruins.
and the Bruins that won the President's Trophy, and then the next year they both missed the playoffs. This year it was, or 2024, it was the Florida Panthers that won the Stanley Cup and the Winnipeg Jets that won the President's Trophy in 2024, like I said. And then this year, both of them missed the playoffs. So that's kind of a crazy stat. Probably shouldn't
So,
have had me report this because I don't watch hockey, but what is the President's Cup or
so the
President's
President's
Trophy?
Cup goes to the team with the most points in the year.
Oh, okay. And I guess those teams typically make the playoffs.
Yeah.
Is it even possible to get the most points and not make the playoffs?
I don't know. Is
I
it
guess it would be
possible?
possible because you could score really high but still
Yeah,
lose by 1 point, like enough games, you know.
like blow teams out and then
It
lose
would just
other
require
games.
it would require all the good teams that would be competing for that record to score not a ton on you.
Low. Yeah.
Yeah, but I don't think that's ever happened. Well, shout out the Canucks.
What?
I don't know, I'm just naming teams I know. And keep your stick on the ice. We'll see you guys next week.
Isn't that something Troy Dane would say?
Yeah.
You stick on the ice.
All right. See you guys.
Yep, see ya.